Hello students, this is Dr. Ranjini, Assistant Professor in Biotechnology. Welcome to e-learning sessions in Immunology. In this session, we learn about types of antibodies. The amino terminal part of the chain, the amino terminal part of the chain, that is the immunoglobulin, consisting of around 100 to 110 amino acids. 100 to 110 amino variation among myeloma heavy chains and was therefore called variable region. The remaining part of the protein revealed five basic sequence patterns corresponding to five different heavy chain constant regions. The heavy chain of the given antibody molecule determine the class of that antibody. In the heavy chain, there are five types. They are IgA, that is, if the heavy chain is made up of the alpha chain, it is called IgA antibody. If it is heavy chain is made up of the delta type of the heavy chain, then it is called as IgD antibody. If it is made up of heavy chain is made up of epsilon type of the chain, then it is called as IgE antibody. If it is made up of gamma type of the heavy chain, then it is called IgG antibody. If the heavy chain is mu chain or mu type, then it is called as IgM antibody. So totally antibodies will be of five types depending on the type of the heavy chain they are composed of. Next, we will learn each and every immunoglobulin in detail because it is very important. First, we'll take up immunoglobulin G. It is otherwise called as IgG. It is a relatively 4 polypeptide chained molecule formed of two light chains which are either kappa type or lambda type and two heavy chains. It is having two heavy chain and two light chains. Two light chains may be kappa or lambda. Okay. The light chain consists of single variable region and single constant region. The heavy chain consists of single variable domain and three constant regions. It is made up of three constant regions. This is the predominant class of immunoglobulin and it is accounting for about 75% of the immunoglobulin in the serum of the organism. The normal serum concentration of immunoglobulin G is about 8 to 16 milligram per ml. It is made up of 8 to 16 milligram per ml. The molecular weight of IgG is 150,000 Dalton or it is otherwise represented as 150 kDa and has half-life of around 18 to 23 days. It has half-life of 18 to 23 days. There are four antigenically distinct subclasses of IgG. There are four types of IgG. They are represented as IgG1, IgG2, IgG3 and IgG4. IgG1 is major one, forming about 67% of the total IgG, followed by 22% of IgG2 and 7% of IgG3 and 4% of IgG4. IgG1, IgG3 and IgG4 readily cross the placental barrier and thus found in the fetal circulation. It protects the growing fetus in the womb of the mother, plays an important role in protecting the growing fetus and thus offers a passive protection to newborn for about 6 to 9 months. So this example will be quoted in the natural passive immunity. So IgG1, IgG3 and IgG4 will protect the growing fetus in the womb of the mother. IgG3 is most effective complement activator than other subclasses. The striking difference between the subclass is the position and the number of disulfide changes or the disulfide the bridges. So these IgG1, 2, 3 and 4 are differing in the number and the position of the interchain disulfide linkage. The disulfide linkage number is 2 for IgG1 and IgG4, and there are four disulfide linkages are there for IgG2, and the 13 disulfide linkages will be observed in case of IgG3. Functionally, this class of immunoglobulin is bacteriolytic, virucidal and precipitate the antibody, but poor agglutinating and complement fixing antibody compared to other immunoglobulin. So as I told, it is very important in killing the bacteria, viruses, and it also precipitate the antibodies, but very poor in complement activation and agglutination. It carries the major burden of neutralizing bacterial toxin and of binding to microorganisms to enhance their phagocytosis. This process is called as opsonization. These IgG molecule, they surround the specific bacteria or the bacteriotoxin, and they increases the rate of phagocytosis. So they act as opsonins, and the process is called as opsonization. This is regarding immunoglobulin G. Next, we will move on to immunoglobulin A. It is found only in small extent in the serum, but predominantly seen in the external seromucous secretions such as saliva, nasal secretions, sweat, colostrum, and secretions of internal organs like respiratory, gastrointestinal, and urinogenital tracts, where it defends against the attack of the microorganism. This IgA uh, is an example for the antibody present in the secretions. IgA consists of only 10 to 15% of the total immunoglobulin in the serum. It accounts for, if you take 100%, it is only 10 to 15%, and it has the half-life of around 6 days. It has the half-life of around 6 days. IgA primarily exists in monomeric form in the serum, but it is the polymeric form and more common in secretory fluid. IgA, so it is a dimeric in case of secretory fluid. IgA found in secretory fluid is called secretory IgA. It is called secretory IgA, and found in the serum called serum IgA. There are two subclasses of IgA, that is IgA 1 and IgA 2. So in case of IgG we have four types, but in case of IgA we have two types, IgA 1 and IgA 2. IgA 1 has both intrachain and interchain disulfide bonds, whereas IgA 2 is completely devoid of intra-disulfide bond. Now we'll see the serum IgA, which is monomeric, having structure very similar to IgG molecule, and heavy chain is of alpha type. But in case of IgG, it is gamma type. But in case of IgA, it is alpha type. The alpha chain differs from gamma chain of IgG, having greater carbohydrate content in the amino acid sequence, and it has the molecular weight of 160,000 Dalton. IgA, serum IgA has more amount of IgA1 than the IgA2. IgA2. Next, we'll know about secretory IgA. He is nearly an equal mixture of IgA1 and IgA2 in contrast to serum IgA. The human secretory IgA is much larger in size than that of the serum IgA, and its molecular weight is 500,000 Dalton. It is as dimer formed by two molecules of IgA linked by secretory component. It is joined together by joining chain or the secretory protein or the secretory component. The J chain is also a polypeptide of 150,000 Dalton and is secreted by plasma cells. The biological activities, if you concentrate, Secretory IgA is termed as mucosal paint or the antiseptic paint of the mucous membrane. Since secretory IgA is polymeric, it can bind to large antigens with multiple epitopes. Hence, the secretory IgA serves as an important antibody at the mucous membrane surfaces, which are the main entry of the most of the pathogen. This IgA inhibits the adherence of the microbes to the mucosa of the respiratory or the internal organs like the gastrointestinal tract or the urinogenital tracts, thereby prevent them from colonizing and invading into the other different organ. Secretory IgA has known to provide protection against bacteria such as Salmonella, Vibrio cholerae, and viruses such as polio, influenza, and reoviruses. IgA does not fix the complement but is found to activate the alternate complement pathway, thereby neutralizing local toxins. And this IgA also promote the phagocytosis and activate bacteriolytic activity. IgA also found to produce immunity against tapeworms. IgA is present in the colostrum, that is the first milk secreted by the delivered mother, protects the baby from the pathogen. So breastfeeding reduces gastrointestinal infections as it inhibits the adherence of the pathogens to the internal linings. By thereby it protects the newly delivered baby. So this is an example for the another natural passive immunity, IgG. In the womb of the mother, it protects the fetus, and IgA protects the newly delivered baby. So this is regarding IgA. It has two types, IgA1 and IgA2. It may be monomeric as well as dimeric. Next, we will move on to IgM. IgM is the largest of the immunoglobulin. You can see here, this is the largest immunoglobulin. It is often referred as macroglobulin. It is referred as macroglobulin because of its molecular weight of around 900,000 Dalton. It exists as a pentamer and monomer and have the monomeric unit as the molecular weight of around 180 Dalton, 180,000 Dalton. IgM accounts for about 5 to 10% of the total immunoglobulin with an average concentration of serum concentration of 1.5 milligram per ml. This IgM is the polymeric having 5 molecules, each with 4 polypeptide chains. The polymerization of these molecules occurs in the presence of the J chain, the J chain, which holds all the 5 monomeric units, and the J chain hold the pentameric structure at the Fc region and stabilizes the Fc sulfahydryl groups. Phylogenetically, IgM is the most primitive immunoglobulin present in all vertebrate organism, and IgM is the first isotype to be produced by the neonate or the newborn baby during the primary immune response, but it does not persist for long because of its very short lifespan of around 5 days. It is therefore it is very useful indicator of the primary infection. By having a multiple antigen binding site, it is having multiple antigen binding site around 5 to 10. IgM has high functional affinity for multivalent antigens or the pathogen. For example, it is efficient to in reaction with the antigens such as the red blood cells or the E. coli, which have regulatory repeated epitopes on their surfaces. They have the different types of epitopes on their surfaces. It also shows properties such as opsonization, complement fixation, agglutinization, cytolysis, etc. The IgM molecule can bind at a time 10 small haptens, but can only 5 large antigens can bind to the IgM antibody to avoid the steric hindrance. Because of its molecular size, big size, macromolecular size, it is primarily located in the blood and thus protects against the blood serum infection. It cannot pass through the placenta, just like our IgG antibody. So this IgM is the first antibody to be produced in the neonate, and it is pentameric, may exist even as the monomeric unit, and all the 5 monomeric units are held together by J chain, and this is very high molecular weight immunoglobulin, cannot pass through the placenta, can avoid infection in the blood serum. This is regarding IgM antibody. Next we'll move on to IgD antibody. It has a typical immunoglobulin structure with 2 light chains and 2 heavy chains. 2 light chains and 2 heavy chains, and the heavy chain is made up of the delta type of the heavy chain. IgD is slightly larger than IgG, having a molecular weight of 150,000 Dalton. IgD is limited to blood serum. IgD is limited to blood serum, means it is present only in the blood serum. The average serum level will be around 0.03 milligram per ml, and it has the half-life of around 3 days. It can survive only for 3 days, and it has the 2 subclasses, just like our IgA1 and IgA2. Here you have IgD1 and IgD2. IgD has not been shown to have any antibody activity, and it does not mediate any of the effector functions to immunoglobulin. It is found associated with the surface of B cells along with the IgM, and it acts as the antigen receptor. It acts as antigen receptor. That is regarding IgD antibody. Next, we will move on to IgE antibody. This is very, very important. IgE is having 2 heavy chains and 2 light chains. The heavy chain is made up of epsilon type, and as usual, the light chain may be kappa or the lambda type. This is the only immunoglobulin which does not have a hinge region. It is found in traces in serum. Its level is very, very less in the serum. It is around 0.0003 milligram per deciliter of the serum. Its concentration is very less, but it play an important role during the allergic or the hypersensitive reaction. It has a half-life of around 2 to 3 days. IgE usually known as the skin sensitizing antibody. So allergic reactions usually show the symptoms on the skin immediately. High level of IgE in the children with worm infestation seems to have a protective role. This protective function is either by IgE acting directly on the parasite or by producing amines. IgA antigen interaction on the mast cells results in the degranulation. So Fc receptor, so this Fc region is having the receptor on the mast cell during the allergic reaction or the hypersensitive reaction, and it leads to degranulation and further lytic activity. It binds to these cells by tissue binding sites, leaving antigen binding sites free to bind to the antigen to which a human can develop the allergy, such as drugs, pollen, certain foods also. It plays major role in development of allergic reaction. So IgE is involved in the allergic reaction or the hypersensitive reaction. So that is regarding IgE antibody. Its level should be very less, but only in the allergic reaction its level shoots up, and it has the half-life of around 2 to 3 days. So till those days you will have the symptoms of allergic reaction. That is regarding IgE antibody. Next, we will move on to the antigenic determinants, or the few terms which we use during explaining the antibody. That is isotype, allotype, or idiotype. That means they can also be referred as isotypic determinants, allotypic determinants, and idiotypic determinants. So even antibodies can act as the antigens or the foreign substance in the other organism. First, we'll take up the isotypic determinants or the isotypes. Although all immunoglobulins have heavy chains, have similar structure, they have different molecular weights. So any change in the molecular weight is due to difference in their amino acid sequences or the carbohydrate substitution. Thus, they must have distinguishing antigenic epitopes, or they differ in the epitopic region on their surface, which are known as isotypes or the isotypic determinants. Antibodies may be raised to these isotypes or the isotypic determinants may be used to distinguish between different immunoglobulin classes and the subclasses. So they differ in the molecular weight, they differ in the amino acid sequences, they differ in the epitopic region, and these are called as isotypic determinants in the other organism. Next, we will move on to the allotypes. Allotypes are the uh, within the class of the type of the antibody. We will find the different types depending on the presence of the position and the number of the disulfide linkages. In the same way, the allotypic determinants, just like our isotypic antibodies, identify antigenic differences between the classes of the immunoglobulins. Classes of the immunoglobulins within the same class. Allotypic antibodies identify differences within a class of or subclass of the immunoglobulin. For example, amino acid sequence for IgA1 in one person, maybe A, may vary slightly from that in the another B due to inheritance of different alleles of IgA1 or this may be due to mutation. Thus, when antibody from A is introduced into the B, differences are recognized as the foreign substances, and the B individual raise the immunity against the A type of the IgA1 antibody. So this type of the antigenic determinants within the same class of the antibody, they are called as the allotypes or the allotypic determinants. Next, very important is idiotypes, or these are referred as idiotypic determinants. In contrast to allotypic differences, idiotypic differences are associated with the variable region or the antigen binding region of the antibody. If you take an example, take a mouse and expose to an antigen for the first time, it forms the polyclonal antibodies that have the antigenic binding site specifically recognize the injected antigen. If this antibody is isolated and injected into the another genetically identical mouse which is not exposed to the antigen, the only part of the antibody that would appear foreign to the recipient or the antigen binding site, because the constant region will be same but the variable region will be different. So that's why in the new mice will find the development of the immunological reaction, and they consider this antigen binding region or the variable region as the foreign substance, and they raise the immunity, or they raise the immune reaction. So such type of antigenic determinants specific to the variable region of the antibody are called as the idiotypic determinants. So this is very important because they will ask for 2 marks as a short notes in the examination. Define isotypes or define isotypic determinants, or define allotypes or allotypic determinants, or define idiotypes or idiotypic determinants. So in this session we learned different types of antibodies, that is 5 classes: IgA, IgD, IgE, IgM and IgG antibodies, and few terminologies like isotypic determinants, allotypic determinants and idiotypic determinants. I hope you understood today's session. Thank you.